So, I've been putting off making this video for a long time, but for public record, I kind of wanted to put my story out there, I guess, and relate to people. I'm gonna say it's dramatic, but I'm not using any names, so I'm not trying to start any problems. I just want to tell my story. So, a couple years ago, most of you know, I got my scarification done, and while I was waiting for the appointment to actually get my scarification, I had made an appointment for one of my biggest tattoos that I have, which is my shark tattoo on my side. And some of you may have seen it, and if you've watched my scarification videos, you've seen it primarily unfinished. So I'm gonna tell the story of why. Okay, so a couple years ago, I had moved back in with my parents and was living in their attic and really trying to be me after the pitfall of moving back home. And I was going to school in Philadelphia, and there was a shop that had just opened up, and someone from my hometown was working at that shop. And I was like, wow, that's cool, you made it. And I decided to make an appointment with them. And I was like, yeah, I want this shark tattoo, really represent me in my time of feeling like I was not myself, living with my parents again. So I thought this tattoo would kind of be representative of that. So I went there and I met with them, and I had told them hey, I want this tattoo here on my ribs. However, in about 6 weeks, I'm getting scarification. And I went there and I showed him this picture. And I was like, these are my boobies, and this is the scarification I'm getting. So my tattoo can't be anywhere around here. And he was like, cool. And we started with the tattoo. And I can say, if you followed me on Tumblr, then you knew how miserable I was getting this tattoo. It was painful, it hurt so bad, I had to lay uncomfortably, and I couldn't have a bra on, so I was really vulnerable and just so sad. But because of the pain, I loved the tattoo. So a couple weeks went by, got my scarification done, and I was like, yeah girl, get modified, be you. Felt great. I was so stoked on my scarification, so I posted a flick on my Instagram. And this was the picture I posted. And the caption says, my scars have been killing it this week. Maybe it's the weather. This emoji. And umbrella emoji. And I got this comment on my photo from the tattoo artist. And the comment says, are you kidding me? In all caps. Didn't you think to mention this? You're done. I'm never tattooing you again. I replied, hey dude, I'm not totally sure if you're being silly or not, but I told you I was getting scarification before we even started the shark. Remember the super awkward picture I drew? And my comment continues. The super awkward picture I drew of my torso as a reference when I was getting them? The embarrassing booby pictures and all? That's why we ended up putting the shark so much on my back and ribs. I hope you're not really pissed. Please call me. This emoji. And I had never heard back from him. So I kind of waited and hoped that it was a joke, but it wasn't. So I called the shop and made an appointment for my next session because the tattoo was not finished at all. But I had already paid for the tattoo, which is something I don't do anymore, but I also don't really get large tattoos anymore, and this is a little bit why. So I called the shop, made an appointment with the shop hand, and he was like, yeah, totally, next Wednesday. And I was like, whew. that whole thing on Instagram was just a joke. And then 10 minutes later, I got a call back. And it was the shop. And the shop hand was like, excuse me, I had to cancel that appointment because you're no longer allowed in this tattoo shop. And I was like, why? I didn't really mean to upset anybody. And I'm sorry, and could I talk to the tattoo artist on the phone? Like, could you put them on the phone so I could talk to them? And the tattoo shop hand was like, they're not available to talk to you. And I was like, please can I talk to them? And I was like really getting choked up because the tattoo had meant so much to me and I had paid so much for it, and it was unfinished on my body. And the shop hand was like, no, bye. So I didn't know what to do. I felt so helpless about it, and I just talked about it on Tumblr, and I typed it up, and I tried to be like as non-specific as possible because this was like the beginning of this person's career here, and they had already like dumped me for a reason that like they had already known. So I typed it on Tumblr, and someone gave me the advice that I could have a civil suit against them because I had already paid for the tattoo and because it was unfinished, and I guess there's some sort of unwritten kind of guarantee that you would finish your tattoo. And I don't know about all that, but I did look into it, and it was only $60 to have this little civil suit. But I was like, this isn't for me. Like, I don't want to sue anybody. I just wish that like I could talk to somebody else other than the shop hand, if I could talk to the tattoo artist directly. And that never happened. I reached out on so many platforms, and they just like refused to talk to me because of the scarification. And it kind of just came down to they couldn't use the picture, they couldn't use the shark tattoo in their portfolio because my scarification would have been in the picture. And it was just so sad to me that even though they're a tattoo artist, they couldn't really respect other forms of body modification. Like, I felt like scarification was something that a tattoo artist would be cool with. Like, I think their nose was pierced. It's kind of the same realm, maybe. And 3 years went by before the tattoo was ever finished, and I found out that like their shop that I'd went to was trying really hard to be on like a tattoo drama show, and that kind of painted like a really good image in my mind of like the type of person that tattoo artist was. And it was someone who didn't care about the tattoos, the people that they put their tattoos on, only the picture of the tattoo at the end of the day. And I was almost relieved that I didn't have the tattoo finished and that they couldn't put it in their portfolio, because the tattoo belonged to me and it meant something to me, and I got it at a time in my life where I needed it. I needed a tattoo to like separate me and prove that I was some sort of adult when I had to go back and live with my parents. And like, even if that's cheesy, and even though I think about that now and I'm like, loser, I like needed it. So years down the line, when I moved to Philadelphia, I actually started following this tattoo artist, and I'm not going to mention him, but if you really want to know, you can message me. But he was like vegan and like totally into it, and his style was the exact same. So I messaged him and told him my story, and I think he kind of felt for it. I think he was scared at first because touching another artist's work like is taboo, especially if you're in the same city. But I was like, hey, like, he doesn't even care about vegans. He was like eating sushi the whole time, and I swear that's true. just like tattooing me and being like, I love eating fish. And that's cool, but like, do you have to eat shark while we're making my shark finning tattoo? Regardless, I went out and I got the tattoo finished by him, and I think he really felt for me and felt for my situation, and I was so happy that he would dare to touch this tattoo that my artist publicly shamed me for getting, the scarification. Like, on a public platform, he said all that to me. Are you kidding? Is what he said. And it was on a picture where I was so stoked, like so happy to show the public my scars, and like such a revealing photo, and he publicly shamed me for it. So yeah, my tattoo has since been finished for like a year now, and I love it. It's beautiful. And I'll show it. Let me just pull up my pants. You can see him all finished, and here are my scars. And you can see that like 2 of them go into the tattoo, which I thought was the neatest thing ever, but some people don't think that's neat. But this is my tattoo drama story, and thanks for listening. And if you've ever had a tattoo drama experience, let me know, let me relate, and yeah, thanks for watching.